Well, hello and welcome to all of our Gold viewers here today. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Well, we're back here today talking about our upcoming Gold Obstetrics Conference, and you are all welcome to come and join us, of course, for that conference. Registration is open. All the details are on the website at goldobstetrics.com. Now, today we're sitting down with one of our great speakers here at Gold Learning, Yvonne LeFort. Welcome back, Yvonne. It's great to have you here at Gold.
Thank you, Fiona. It's wonderful to be part of it again.
Well, of course, I'm very excited today because you're talking about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. But I know that you are working with, well, I know you're working with many folks, but I know that one of the things that you love to do is teach and make sure that all this important information reaches other medical doctors as well, like yourself. But we'll talk about your topic in just a moment here. But perhaps you can catch everybody up to date with first of all, where you are in the world. That's important today. And of course, what you've been doing.
Thanks, Fiona. I'm still living in Auckland in New Zealand, although I'm a Canadian. I have dual citizenship, and I am not really going very far in the world like everybody else these days. So it's been a rather eventful few months for me personally and professionally. But professionally, I have had the experience of continuing to run the breastfeeding clinic in Auckland here. And being a physician, I was able to continue face-to-face consultations with mothers and babies.
Mm,
So for the last, since March, I've been busy, and it's been a different variety of people because I'm seeing people who've already been seen by competent lactation consultants and other professionals, but needed the face-to-face
mm.
consultation. So that brought in a new sort of urgency to some of the consultations that we're doing. But as Fiona said, I do really want to support doctors in their education separate from my clinical activity. And one of the things that's been happening throughout the last 3 to 4 years is that I have a peer review, breastfeeding medicine peer review group that's been sanctioned by the Royal College of GPs here in New Zealand. So that's been great because I have
Mm.
members that are not only GPs, but from other disciplines who've joined into our virtual group when we meet about 6 to 8 times a year. But
Wow.
they've joined in because they recognize that they aren't getting the breastfeeding education and peer review that they would like from their own
Mm.
discipline. So we have a group of probably about 12 doctors spread across the country, and we meet, as I say, regularly and case share and bring publications in for discussion and practical issues about trying to integrate breastfeeding medicine into general practice is always a good topic as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's great news to hear. I'm sure there's many folks that can relate to that, and watching sort of the momentum of this field of breastfeeding medicine really move forward. Has this always been the way for you? Like you've always sort of been immersed in breastfeeding medicine? Because I feel like you're a little bit unique because you're so passionate about it, Yvonne. Tell me a little bit about the history behind that.
Well, interestingly, I was working in general practice for probably about 10 years until I sort of even came across the idea that breastfeeding and medicine were important interlocked areas. But my
Right.
my original contact with it was through Dr. Evelyn Jan in Calgary, who
Oh,
ran
right.
still
Yes.
runs a breastfeeding clinic, and her influence has been very great because it opened my eyes to the whole area
Mhm.
of breastfeeding medicine. So that was the very late 1990s. So I am sort of admitting my longevity in the field. But when we relocated to New Zealand in the early 2000s, I really wanted to maintain that interest, and I became an IBCLC within the first year of leaving Canada. And then someone from another country introduced me to the Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine, and from
Mm.
that point on, I've become very interested and very involved with the academy and found that a good source of mentorship and networking and generally evidence-based information that's been very useful for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's talk about the Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine because I feel like that's also moved leaps and bounds, in the field as well. And there's many folks that rely on it, like myself, many protocols that are actually put out and a fabulous journal as well. So tell me, what's been happening during this time? Of you've been still meeting, anything new coming up? What's happening with them?
Well, the Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, and we had a
Wow.
lovely in-person conference plan, but we're now completely virtual this year for the first
Yeah.
time. So that's opening a lot of doors to people who would find it extremely difficult to travel and hotel
Yes.
costs and registration costs. So we're hoping to get a very good sample of doctors throughout the world to participate in our conference this year. And I am an elected board member now for the Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine. So that has actually incurred a few more responsibilities, but quite a bit of insight into the direction of the organization. So we have a very proactive management team, and we're constantly looking at the needs of the future.
Mm,
And yeah, there's some exciting things happening. For example, we have a division or a subcommittee that deals with doctors in training that's only been established in the last 12 months. And that's,
mhm.
to me, that's extremely exciting because we're extending and looking at the needs of that group of people, and hopefully we can better serve them and encourage them in the field because succession planning is a lot of what we're all thinking these days.
Right.
So
Yes. Well, that's just fabulous. Well, I'm sure that's keeping you very busy, and I'm so appreciative that you're here, also teaching at Gold Obstetrics. So let's dive in, talk a little bit about your presentation. So your presentation is titled "Breastfeeding Nuggets for Busy Doctors." Now, tell me, what's the premise behind this presentation, and what should I expect as a viewer coming in to listen to this one?
right. Well, it's a presentation that's evolved over a number of years because when you're immersed in the field, 1 hour of presentation of what doctors should know is absolutely impossible to do.
Hmm.
I've tried to pick the key areas that I feel that any doctor could potentially be approached by their patient and needs to know not everything, but a little bit, and to know what they shouldn't say is as important as knowing what they should say and how to direct people in in a direction that will protect breastfeeding
Mm,
and recognizing that they're dealing with two patients, the
right.
baby and the mother. So it's certainly not an advanced educational session if you're already familiar with a lot of these issues, but it's a refresher,
Mm,
and it's really for people who want to know a workable knowledge base regarding
hmm.
breastfeeding. So it's applicable if you're a pediatrician or a family doctor or an obstetrician or what have you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I've had a sneak peek already. I'm very excited actually to see it myself, even as an IBCLC. We're always hungry, to make sure that we're in context, keeping up to date with all the latest information as well. So I appreciate all your time and effort for this presentation too. So if you're interested in coming to see this presentation, this is going to be part of our add-on package for our Gold Obstetric Conference. And again, Yvonne LeFort is going to be with us. And the presentation is titled Breastfeeding Nuggets for Busy Doctors. Well, thank you so much, Yvonne. It's lovely to have you back here at Gold. And thank you for sitting down with us today.
You're welcome.
And to everybody joining us today, don't forget to jump online and check out all the latest information at our Gold Obstetrics Conference. It's coming up right away here online. And you can join us, of course, for our opening and closing keynotes. They're both free and open access, and you'll be able to listen to either the live events and or the recorded. You can check out all the details and the schedule online at goldobstetrics.com. Thank you once again to Yvonne LeFort for being with us here today and to all of our viewers. Bye bye for now, everyone.